Hi, welcome to Clooney Watches channel. Obviously from the introduction to this video, you know which watch will I be presenting today. And being that this is my first video in the new 2019, Happy New Year everyone, it is appropriate that Clooney starts with a big bang, not blow big bang, but rather big bang of the watch world. Why am I saying this? Well, undoubtedly, this is the most anticipated, one of the hardest to get, one of most wanted and most talked about watches of recent times. So that's why it is a big bang for the watch world. But before I give my perspective on it, I do want to ask you for help. Help support a small watch enthusiast channel. How? Please subscribe. Take a moment to subscribe to my channel. I will not offer you Amazon links. I will not do hidden product placement. I will not sell you any cool straps. I will not ask for super chats. All I'm asking you is to share this journey with me, journey of searching for a perfect timepiece and enjoying our hobby. That's it. Going back to this hype about the watch we are talking about today. Well, we need to understand why that happened. My perspective on this is following. It is Rolex watch, and without any question, Rolex is most famous, most known, most liked watch brand. You can agree or disagree, Rolex is Rolex. Second, this is a significant line. GMT Master 2 is a great and important line of watches, Rolex sports timepieces. Next to Sub, most iconic line. I would say it goes Sub, then it goes GMT, then it goes Explorer, and then maybe Daytona. Next, when originally this watch came out in 1954, upon request of the Pan American pilots to have a watch which shows second time zone, and Rolex provided it, the color combination on the bezel was red and blue. So that is deep in the DNA of Rolex watches and ultimately everyone that loves Rolex watches. When we think GMT, like it or not, we are thinking Pepsi. I'm sure there is many other great combinations and I love them dearly. I love the Batman, I love the root beer, I love the blueberry, I love all these wonderful combinations on the bezel. But Pepsi is significant. It's first. We don't forget the first, no matter what it is. Don't have a dirty mind. Anyway, so wait was very long. 2014, when they came up with the white gold Rolex Pepsi, it was wonderful, but let's be honest, how many of us can afford white gold watch? This is $40,000 timepiece. I'm talking Canadian bucks. So when in 2018 they came up with the oyster steel Rolex Pepsi ceramic, you can understand the excitement. You can understand why was this Basel world all about it. Now, mind you, this watch carries many other significant important achievements and components, but in short, this is what created the excitement. Yeah, it has the new movement and it's exceptional, and the quality of the watch is absolutely unbelievably done, but it is a story. It is that feeling. It is how we view this watch and what do we associate this watch to. It's that journey, which I kind of try to present in my intro to this video. This journey from this bakelite red and blue bezel to finally this oyster steel ceramic red and blue bezel. That's my perspective. Now, let's jump into Bear Clooney Watches Studio and take a closer look of this wonderful watch. Let's go. And here we are at Bear Clooney Watches Studio, taking a closer look at the Rolex GMT Master 2 Pepsi in stainless steel, reference number 126710 BLRO. And BLRO is actually an acronym standing for Bleu and Rouge, which is blue and red in French. And it obviously indicates the colors on the bezel of this watch, which are probably the reason for so much hype that this watch created. And for those who don't understand the hype, well, we need to reflect on the fact that when originally Rolex GMT came out in service, 1954, it was at that time red and blue bezel on a bakelite, and it was created for the Pan American pilots, which wanted to have a watch with a second time zone as the flights were getting longer and intercontinental. So Rolex produced a legendary watch with a great heritage and great history. And as many of you know, Bear Clooney loves to have a gadgets related to the story of the watch when I'm presenting one. And as you can see, I have a beautiful Pan American model of the Jet, which I think is so cool. And I have the vintage sleeve for the tickets for Pan American Traveler. And there is a pin, a Pan American pin indicating the Bear Clooney's country of origin, which was Yugoslavia. And at that time, Pan American was serving intercontinental flights connecting United States of America and Yugoslavia. But let's go back to the watch, because ultimately that's the reason why we're here. And here is a beautiful Rolex Pepsi ceramic bezel stainless steel watch that is subject of so many debates, probably one of the most interesting watches of the year 2018, since it was revealed in Basel World 2018. So, you know, it is easy to understand why this watch created such a hype. Prior to this watch, there was in 2014 release of the white gold Rolex GMT with the red and blue bezel. And since then, everyone was hoping that eventually we will see more affordable, more approachable Rolex GMT in oyster steel that would finally become reality for those of us who simply cannot afford precious metal Rolex watches. And the dream came true in 2018 Basel World. And it was this watch. It was this watch that took it by storm. So here we have Rolex GMT Master 2, reference 126710 BLRO, which is primarily different from the white gold version, immediately easily recognizable because of the bracelet, where on the white gold version it's a oyster bracelet, While here we have actually a beautiful Jubilee bracelet, and it's not interchangeable at this moment. That's the only bracelet available for this watch. The bracelet is beautiful, high quality. It is similar to the bracelet on the Datejust 41, with the difference on a clasp. Clasp here is different than on a Datejust, as you can see right now. So this was something that was obvious from the first moment we seen this watch, but there are other differences, and one of the most important ones is the new movement on this watch, which has been upgraded to the Rolex caliber 3285. This movement with GMT function complies to obviously all current Rolex standards, features new large barrel that ensures a power reserve of 70 hours. It features the Chron Energy escapement and Paraflex shock absorbers. In short, a movement has enough power reserve for almost 3 days, and is designed in such a way that it is very highly efficient, and it's certified to perform within -2 and +2 seconds a day on average, well within chronometer specifications. So I was talking about the bracelet, which is made of oyster steel. I do want to mention that Rolex does not refer to the grade of a stainless steel type they use for their watches, which formerly was known as 904L steel. Now they simply call it oyster steel. And this is something that Rolex has been using this type of quality of the steel since 1985. That would be 904L grade steel. First it was used, that's an interesting fact, on a Sea Dweller, and later was used on all other models. So this bracelet on this watch, reference number 69200, was especially made for this watch. And this oyster bracelet, the oyster bracelet is not going to fit this watch. One way that Rolex wants to ensure that there is a separation in the aspect of recognizing the white gold Pepsi, that it's easily differentiated from the steel Pepsi. When it comes to this bracelet, I'm really impressed. It's an amazing piece of work. It is extremely comfortable. It has, as I showed you earlier, the differentiation from the Datejust 41. It has the oyster lock folding clasp, which has the comfort extension. So you can actually change the length of the bracelet immediately to ensure comfort for your wrist, depending on the temperature, humidity, and all other factors that will affect the wrist size. Now, the biggest controversy and debate that I've seen in the watch world, on forums, in Facebook, among the horology friends, were the colors of this watch. And the debate is pretty much going from those that say that the colors are not indicative exactly of being blue and red, that it's more purple and pink. While I have this watch in my possession and I look at it every day, and I can tell you the issue of purple and pink is not there. It is clearly blue and clearly red. Now, interesting fact, I did compare this watch in the AD to a white gold version. And I have to say that I found that the bezel is slightly different. I found that this blue is a little bit darker on this specific watch compared to the white gold version. And I'm not talking the one with the blue dial, I'm talking the previous one with the black dial. Those were the two watches that we compared. Now, you be judge for yourself. I'm hoping that my lighting is proper, and I hope the quality of the picture is sufficient for you to determine if the colors of this bezel are indicative of Pepsi type of bezel. I personally feel that they are, and that this watch is a beautiful culmination, the beautiful end of a great long story of a GMT watch, which started with the Pepsi, and today, as a last piece in its line, we have what I am showing you now in this presentation. This Cerachrome Pepsi bezel is, in my opinion, beautiful. It is a little bit wider than the old bezel. Admittingly, it doesn't have the mid-20th century anachronistic charm that was achieved through anodized aluminum bezel, which was around since 1959. As I mentioned, originally they were bakelite, but they were cracking, so they changed them with the aluminum bezels. But I am not a fan of vintage timepieces as much as I love modern advanced pieces like this one, and I find that this is, for me personally and many others, better choice from the technical material standpoint and also aesthetically. So there you go. There is your little presentation of this wonderful watch that unfortunately requires long waiting times, or it can be purchased as unreasonably high second market, gray market price for those that are not willing to wait. I am a big fan of it. I'm so happy and thankful that it is part of my collection, and as a big fan overall of the GMT Rolex watches, it certainly is a great addition to it. So there you go. Now I'm going to turn the lights off. We can take a look at the lume of this watch. And here we have the lume of the Rolex GMT Pepsi. Very good quality. This is quite obvious what it is. So I'm going to turn the lights back on now, and before we go back to Bear Clooney's cave, I'm going to show you the wrist presence of this beautiful watch. And at the end, at this presentation at Bear Clooney Watch Studio, let me put this watch on my wrist, which I find it extremely comfortable. And let's take a look. How does it appear on the wrist itself? I think it's beautiful. I think this watch is truly remarkable. And in addition to everything, it actually holds something like 10 patents in relation to the new movement. I don't know exactly what they are, but I'm sure if you Google it, you will be able to find it. Again, watch that is one of the most remarkable watches that came out in year 2018. That concludes this presentation in Bear Clooney Watch Studio. I suggest we go back to Bear Clooney's cave to wrap up this video. And we're back at Bear Clooney's cave. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of this truly beautiful watch. Once again, I want to remind you to subscribe to my channel. And at the end, being that today is January 6th, and for some of us Orthodox Christians, this is Christmas Eve. This is a day before our Christmas, which is on January 7th. This is celebrated in Russia, in Ukraine, in Macedonia, Montenegro, in Ethiopia, in Georgia, and to all the Orthodox Christians that are celebrating this Christmas on January 7th, I would like to wish you Merry Christmas with the traditional saying, Christ is born, truly is born. And to the Serbian people, Hristos se rodi, vaistinu se rodi. Now at the end, all the best to all of you.